Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Locks of the Day podcast. This is episode number 30. I'm back here once again with Zach and Andrew. We're here to lock you in again with all of our free premium picks for NBA, college basketball, and tennis. Last podcast was a little rough for the Super Bowl. We had the Chiefs and the over. No, and the under. My apologies. Obviously, the Eagles won and the over. It's okay. Little L on that podcast. We bounce back. That's what we do. We're Locks of the Day for a reason. Don't think for a second we're negative units through the NFL season or for the podcast because we're not. NHL, we're up like 20 plus units. College basketball, about the same. Tennis, we just swept last podcast. So we're going to get right back into it for you boys. All right. So, Andy, kick them off with the first NBA 3-star, and let's stay hot with these ones.
Yes, sir, indeed. Three-star for NBA will be the Heat and Mavericks under 222 and a half at a minus 115. Both teams played last night, so back-to-back games for both teams. And Heat have been struggling to score recently. Uh, since trading Jimmy Butler in those past three games, since they haven't had Jimmy, they've only averaged 90 points. I think they scored like 86, 85, and then just 101 recently last night. Um, and it's like every game they haven't played like with Jimmy, I feel like it's like they just can't find like Hero can't get hot. Bam's not doing his thing. It's like just one certain thing is not clicking. And when Jimmy's not on the floor with them, they only average 105 points this year. And I mean, like Jimmy's played a good amount, but obviously he's gone, so they don't have to worry about him anymore. Like if you look at his stats, his last couple of games in Miami too, he played like 27 minutes, like four straight games, and he had like 7 points, like 8 points. It's like the dude just wasn't fucking trying at all. Like he just didn't give a fuck. But thankfully he got out of there, and now that he can, I mean, do something with Golden State, and the Heat can maybe try to get a playoff spot, but hopefully not, because that's my pick for at the beginning of the year was them not to make the playoffs, and it's kind of looking decent, but the East is so shit. But back to the pick, the Mavs right now, little banged up. AD got hurt right away. That dude's literally fucking made of glass. PJ Washington's out and Gafford's out, so three starters. So it'll be a little Kyrie Clay show. And both these teams already played once this year, so last game of this will be the last game of their series. But when they played, when they first faced off, Heat won 123 to 118 in overtime, smashing the over of 221 and a half that game by 20 points. I don't see that happening this time because Jimmy will not be there to drop 33 like he did in the first game. So lock that under of 222 and a half at a minus 115, quick 3 units, and I'll swing that over to Zach for a quick two.
Yeah, so for our two start tonight, it's going to be Zion Williamson over 23 and a half points at a minus 120. Uh, there's really not too much to say on this one. Zion's hit this in seven of his last nine games. The Pelicans are a dumpster fire right now. There's no other way to put it. That poor team has gone through the ringer, and they just played last night. Zion dropped 33, but they don't have anyone. Really, no one's playing for this team. You know, they've lost three starters already this year. Herb Jones is out for the year. DeJounte Murray's out for the year. Brandon Ingram's been traded. Kelly Olynyk's out since coming over. Brandon Boston's out since coming over. The list just goes on and on. And if you go down and look at their bench, they have a lot of young rookies. It's like they played last night, and in the box score last night, they played 10 guys, and four of their bench players barely played 10 minutes. So really, they're running a lineup of six guys. And I mean, Zion played 30 minutes, and I'm kind of expecting somewhere to be around the same. But I think the big thing too is that he's also averaging around 20 shots a game, and he's putting up around 6 to 7 free throws a game too. So I feel like this number's pretty low for the amount of guys that are out. I feel like this number should be more so around 30. So I think the value here of 23 and a half or minus 120 is pretty good.
Love it. So there's the NBA locks right there, fellas. Now we'll keep it with basketball, roll right into the good old college basketball. Andy, give him the 3-star kid.
Yes, sir. Three-star for tonight. College basketball will be Grand Canyon University minus 11 and a half out of minus 110. They're playing Tarleton State. Uh, Tarleton State's been pretty mid all year, with a 10-15 record, 5-5 in conference, which is the Western Athletic Conference. Their 5 wins against very bad teams like Utah Tech and Southern Utah, who are combined 4-14 in conference. Tarleton State has really struggled offensively, turning the ball over. They turn the ball over actually the most in the nation in all of college basketball, 18 turnovers a game, which is insanely bad. But moving on to GCU, they've been having a very solid season. They're usually pretty good. They don't really play in a good conference, but they're 17-6 and 7-2 in the WAC. GCU's they got 4 players averaging over 10 points a game, and with one of them being their big man, Duke Brennan. Uh, he's averaging just under a double double with 10 and 9, and he shoots the ball at a very high clip of 66.4%, which is fourth best in the nation. So he's there to get those easy buckets. In Tarleton State, they don't have any height. They have one dude that's 6'8", and no one else that I think they had one other dude that's 6'8", but he doesn't even play. So he's too young. He's a freshman, and uh so I think that's gonna hurt Tarleton State a lot, not having any size, and they're just gonna look down low to get those quick, easy buckets. So uh this should be a lock tonight. GCU is going into Tarleton State, and they're actually one of the lowest rebounding teams in the nation at the bottom 10. They only average 29 rebounds per game. So they're going to have to shoot their way out of this game. They're very guard heavy, and I don't see that happening. So take GCU at a minus 11 and a half. That's a minus 110. Quick 3 stars. We get over to Zach for a quick 2.
Yeah, so our two start tonight is going to be Tennessee Tech plus 7.5 against Arkansas Little Rock. So that one's coming at us in the Ohio Valley Conference. We're taking the 7.5 for Tennessee Tech, as this is going to be one of the season splitters. Little Rock beat Tennessee Tech by 6 earlier in the season. But Tennessee Tech has been playing well. They're 8-6 in conference. They've won 4 or 5. Little Rock's 10-5 as of right now. But very similar in this conference. They have already had some splits. Little Rock in their last game played Southeastern Missouri, who they'd already beat by 20. Played them at home, lost by 12. So this is going to be another one. I feel like it's going to be the same thing. You're going to see Tennessee Tech go in there, keep this one close, and give Arkansas Little Rock a tough game. They're going to be led by Jalen Johnson, who's one of their small forwards, averaging 12 a game. One of their centers who used to play at Arkansas Little Rock, Daniel Agbawuni, if I said that right. Sorry, Daniel, but that was hard to pronounce. But yeah, I mean, same thing. He's averaging he's averaging about 10-6. So, I mean, these two guys are going to lead the way for them, and they're very well coached as well, and a lot of experience. That's kind of what I'm looking at too, is that this lineup is all pretty much returners. It's a senior, 2 juniors, 2 sophomores. Their bench also has 2 juniors and a senior. So they got a lot of experience on this team. So, I mean, Little Rock is still kind of young, good team, but young. And I feel like that's where their inexperience is coming into play here. I mean, if we're looking at it too, whether these numbers match up, I mean, Tennessee Tech outscores them. They're out there scoring about 72 a game. They're giving up 73, but Little Rock is scoring 68, giving up about 66 or so. But Tennessee Tech can score, so that's the reason why I feel like they kept this game close the first time, and I feel like they're going to do the same thing this time as well. But these Ohio Valley teams a lot of times have traded off. I mean, right now, if we're looking at splits, they've split in 45% of all conference games in the Ohio Valley, which is almost 50-50, which is kind of ridiculous so far. But I'll play the numbers game there. So I'll take that gamble. So, I mean, Tennessee Tech plus 7.5, minus 120 at the moment. So I'll take the minus 120 there.
Beautiful. So that wraps up the basketball slate. Get those NBA and college basketball picks in. And now I'll give you the last thing of some tennis, which we swept last week, and we're looking to sweep again, fellas. Both of these are in the ATP Delray Beach tournament. So lock this in a little later night tonight, Thursday, February 13th, all right? For a 3-star, we have Taylor Fritz, minus 4.5 at a minus 135 versus Young Cheokiti Boo. Number 4, Taylor Fritz versus number 69, Boo. Okay, sorry if I mispronounced your name. We're good. This match is on hardcore, okay? Taylor Fritz has been on an absolute heater on hardcourt. One of the best players in the whole world right now. Obviously, he's ranked number 4. Means a little something. I don't see Boo keeping this match close with Fritz. I just don't. I mean, Fritz is levels above Boo talent-wise, and Boo has been very shaky on his serve besides last match against Hijikata, which doesn't impress me because Fritz would probably beat him like 6-1, 6-1. I mean, the last top-tier player Boo beat was Rublev back in September of 2024, and since then he just hasn't been close with anyone. That's very good, and Fritz is very good. And Fritz is very dominant right now, so I expect him to roll Boo this match and easily clear the -4.5 for us. So lock in that 3-star Taylor Fritz -4.5 at a -135. And then for the 2-star, like I said, still ATP Delray Beach. This one's scheduled for 6 p.m. Eastern time tonight. We have a 2-star Matteo Arnaldi moneyline +110 versus Lerner Tien. On Arnaldi's number 38. Tien's number 82. 2 young good players here. Arnaldi being 23 and Tien being 19. Tien has really come onto the scene this past year and has made a big name for himself. Like, this kid is good. He literally just beat Medvedev in the Australian Open, which is by far his biggest win of his career. Like, that's a big mark for a young player that's 19 going into the Australian Open, beating a top 3-4 player in the world. Incredible. But Arnaldi is also a good player as well, and I think he's being definitely overlooked in this match. I mean, Arnaldi, always plays great competition, and even against the top guys, keeps a tight match. Like, he played Medvedev, took him all the way to the end in 3 sets and was very close, lost by like 2 points. Tien is an average player at best that Arnaldi goes up against, realistically. Like, Arnaldi's always playing this competition, if not better. So I expect this to be a good match, which it will. But I think Arnaldi is going to come up on top of this one, beat Tien and moneyline. So 2-star Matteo Arnaldi moneyline +110, a little tongue twister, go, go, go. But that wraps up the tennis slate. You got a little -135, a little +110. We're looking to sweep that one up. You heard the NBA and the college basketball picks. You heard the tongue twisters, okay? We're all messing up names over here, but it doesn't matter as long as the lock's cash. You boys got anything else, though?
Yeah,
Should be
real
it.
quick. What were you gonna say, Zach?
No, I was gonna say that should be it, but go ahead.
I was gonna say that NHL so far through the international break, we're up 23.1 units, which is pretty solid. But if you zoom out and you look at it like all year, we started off so bad, like so bad with NHL. We were almost down 70 units in NHL, and we brought it back to over 50 units, and now it's obviously back down to 23. NHL is always so hard to gauge sometimes, but once again, we profit making money. And then NBA up 16.7 units, which has kind of just coasted through the year, pretty much staying the same, just flipping up and down. And college basketball is like really our only negative sport right now at -23, but that's flipping around too. That's slowly going back up. So expect us to hit some picks tonight because we've been hot. We've been firing.
And that's also only -20 units on that. I mean, but don't forget we were up like 100 plus on football season. Then, of course, like you said, up college basketball, up NHL. I'm sure we're up 10. Like, everything's up and then one sport down. Like, that's going to happen. That's just us being real with you guys. Like, we're honest. Like, you see our picks every week. We can't lie. Like, and everything's posted every day. Like, everything's right there for you to see. Like, we're not here to BS. That's why we always say we're the realists in the game, because the picks we give you is what we give you. We're not going to go change it up or whatever, all that other crap people do. I don't know what they do, but we're just original. We keep it simple. We're not trying to do anything complicated. What we do is what we do. End of story. But that wraps up podcast number 30 for Locks of the Day. And thank you so much for tuning in. Get those locks in because we're cashing today, fellas. And we will see you next Thursday. Thanks again. Peace.